So welcome to the 5th episode of Let's Talk Solutions with Jason Fields. I have my homegirl here, Jene Morgan from JL Morgan Consulting?
Yes.
And tell us, before we get started, to the introduction to debt management. And I love the title that you came up with, from employee to CEO, because I'm gonna ask you what that means, because some of the things I want to talk about is, in the age of like COVID-19 right now, the racial unjust, is this an opportunity for people to have that mindset right now, from going from an employee to the CEO of maybe their own company, what have you? Because right now the world is changing so much that I've always said that if you don't come out of this, if you don't come out of here with some kind of game plan, all of this stuff, that the world is going to pass you by. So before you answer all of that, give me a little bit about the background, because as reading your background, you experiencing debt collection. And when I saw that, it was like somebody who came from the dark side of the force and chose the light now, because now you coaching them, because now you coaching and teaching people basically how to stay out of those situations. So give me a little bit about the firm, what you do, and the business model.
Okay. So I'm in business management consulting. I do business envisioning. We do business plans and things of that nature. We get you more organized as a business owner. And if you're not a business owner yet, but you're thinking about it, we give you some great ideas, some feedback, so you can go ahead and explore what you're good at, so you can go ahead and make your own business out of it. I think, like you said, this is a prime time to start a business. I mean, we came right off of the tax season where you had a little bit of extra money. And then, we went straight into COVID-19 lockdown. So, I mean, we had enough money and enough time to figure out what we could be doing on the side as a side hustle to be able to have a stream of income outside of your 9-to-5 job. Because obviously they laid off a whole bunch of people and nobody had nothing else to do. So, I mean, this is the great opportunity to do that. And then for, some people, they are able to go back to work. But for the people that aren't able to go back to work, I mean, this is the time for you to start your own business and get it running, so you don't have to depend on somebody to bring you back to work, because you already have your business.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think everybody should, it's sort of a two-part question. Do you think everybody should be a business owner, or should everybody have additional sources of income coming in?
So I do believe,
confuse the two.
Yes, I do believe you should have 3 streams of income. Okay? 3. Okay? So one could be your 9-to-5 job, and the other 2 could be like stocks, Forex. It needs to be something that you're investing in, real estate. I mean, anything. You don't have to necessarily have your own business, but you need to have more than one stream of income. So if something like COVID-19 hit, you got something else you can depend on.
Right. So the debt management stuff, because I want you to get into it, this idea from, you say you call it introduction to debt management from employee to CEO. What does that mean? I mean, when you're doing it, what does that mean?
So basically, I actually formed the mini session masterclass intro to debt management coming off of, like I said, the tax season. People had a lot of extra money. And now that you're paying off your bills, you're going to have more extra money. And it's like, what do you do with this extra money? You need to invest it. And then when you invest it, like I said, you could be a business owner, but you can invest it in like stocks, Forex, anything like that, so you can make sure you're building streams of income. And that's how you go from transitioning to just a regular employee to being more business minded.
Okay. When we look at the, because one of the things we always talk about is when people get their taxes, the first thing they do is go out, blow the money on either stuff that doesn't help them in the long run. And like you said before, we went from coming off a tax season to now COVID-19. And one of the things that I noticed, and me and my wife, is that during COVID-19, we weren't spending a lot of money because we weren't going out to eat. You couldn't do a lot of stuff as far as entertainment. So date night was like at the crib at home. And so what should have people's mentality been, just before COVID-19, got their taxes. If my mindset is I want to go from employee to the CEO, I got my taxes. What's the first thing I should have did, or should I be thinking about?
So the first thing you should have been thinking about is paying off some bills.
Okay.
Some past due bills.
You
So you
sound
can
like
get your credit score
like
built
my
up.
wife. My wife paid off bills like like that.
Yes, and that will save you money because you'll get lower interest rates on things, and then you'll be able to get more things. So by you paying off stuff, you can get more stuff, but people don't understand you got to spend money to make money. You
Right.
have to spend money to make money.
Okay.
So I did tell them during my debt cancellation Wednesdays, I did tell all my Facebook viewers that you should set a little bit on the side so you can splurge a little. It's nothing wrong with splurging a little, but we have to make sure that we're doing the bulk of our money, using it towards paying off bills and putting it in investments so that we won't get into the rut that we were in before
Right.
and debt. So, yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because I think when we talk about business finances, people think you can't go out and do anything. You can't have fun. You can't set aside something for, to go out or to have some fun. They think a lot of times when I'm doing these classes, people believe, well, are you saying I can't go out and spend some money? And I'm saying, no, you can do these things, but it shouldn't be to the detriment of your overall game plan, your overall financial picture. Is the employee to CEO mindset, is that a strategy? Is it a pathway, something that you can plot? Meaning, am I looking at saying, okay, I work for such and such organization. COVID-19 hits, all this chaos and turmoil hits. I'm not happy at my current position. It's time to transition. Is it a step-by-step process you go through in order to see that come to fruition?
Well, it's not an exact step-by-step process, but I mean, there are some beginning things that you have to do. Obviously, with what you're talking about, you would have to budget.
Okay.
Obviously, 20%, 10 to 20% budget for yourself. So you can be able to do some of those things. You can't do everything you
Right.
used to do, but so you can be able to do some of those things so it don't feel like you working for nothing.
Right.
You're not spending nothing on yourself. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, if you don't already know what your skills are as an expert in something, you need to find that out. I was telling people during my debt management class that your employers, they know your skills.
Okay.
So you need to figure out what your best skills are and be able to make money off of them, and not just have your employer make money off of you. Because if you've been in a position for a year and you've been promoted, oh yeah, they know that you're an asset to the company.
Okay.
So you have to figure out what are your asset characteristics that you can make money off of for yourself.
Let's stay on that for a while, because I think not enough people talk about that, right? Like, and because oftentimes, and I'll ask people, well, what do you want to do? What are you good at? And a lot of people, I don't know. How do they determine what's their value added? Well, how do they determine it? I mean, like you said before, there are people who get promoted, and the revelation that their employer has recognized the skill set and value they have, but they haven't. How do I even begin to? I mean, you've done these classes. How do people begin to go or evaluate? You know what? I'm good at this. I'm good at that. How do they do that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like one of my business and visioning sessions that I would have with someone.
Okay.
And I would just get a feel of what they're doing now and how it would be able to connect with some kind of company that they would be able to create. Now, it could be something very similar to what they're doing, but doing it for themselves. They just need to be very open. And what I always tell them is, if you don't know what you want to do, you should try something. And then once you try something like Mary Kay or like a smaller business, try something, and then you figure out what you like and what you don't like, so you can know, okay, this is the kind of business I want.
So your
So
so your so your company, and I think this is great. So when people come to you, they hire you, they can begin to look at, okay, this is, if I don't know what I want to do, if I don't know what I want to do, your company or your model helps them get to that point to figure out, listen, through a series of action things that we're going to help you get there. So they can really come to you and go, look, I don't know, I need a total makeover in essence.
mhm,
Help me figure out what my value is, what some strengths I have to line up to what I should be doing next. Because a lot of people don't know. And you may be one of the first that I've heard actually helps people go through that process, right? Because even when I deal with people, I have a mindset of, I know you want to save money and be rich, right? And there's some logistical steps that everybody can do to get to that point. But
mhm.
to recognize their skill set and what they're good at and how to maximize that is a total different ballgame. So you help people with that.
hmm It's
So
called business envisioning.
okay, it's business and business. So I'm gonna come to you.
Hmm
What do you say to me? I know I want to be in business. I don't know
hmm
which business though, right? So
hmm
your business envisioning session walks me through what I'm good at, what things may I have an issue with. I would
hmm
imagine a lot of people learn a lot about themselves and realize what they think they want to do, but deep down realize, no, this ain't for me. I can imagine you go through a lot of that, where people
hmm
realize, nah, this ain't for me. I thought being a business owner would be for me. This ain't that. Is that why you suggest starting off small with something to get people's feet wet?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of people that I've talked to, and they say they want to go into business, but then when I hear what they have been doing and what they want to do, it doesn't line up with what should be done as a business owner. So, I mean, if you're not as serious about it, you want to just tiptoe in, see if
Right.
you like the feel of the water type thing, then you should do something smaller so
Okay.
you won't lose all your life savings or something like that. Like a smaller business like Mary Kay, where it won't take like a lot to invest, and then you could try it out and you can see what things you like and what things you don't. So that's good about, doing like a smaller investment with a company that already has a model built,
Okay.
because if you don't already have a model built, it'll be hard to go ahead and build a company on your own.
Okay.
So that's why I go ahead and give them those options. And some people don't want to put in the work, and building a model is work. It
Right.
is.
And I think a lot of people, they like the idea of a business owner. They like the sound of it. But as you
Hmm
said, it's work. Like it's especially if you want to be serious about it. And if
Yes.
you're not careful, and I've done this, you can lose a lot of money, man. I've lost some money. um, do you what's your thought? Because you mentioned Mary Kay, and it's popped up. The idea of multi-level network marketing. Like like I don't have a thing against it. It's not necessarily for me,
hmm
depending on what model it is. But do you try to steer people away from it? Because some people are good. Some people are good at
So what I do is, the way businesses like Mary Kay is set up is you can get two ways you can get money.
it. Okay.
You can get money from selling products, and you can get money from recruiting people in. So this is a model that is very lucrative because you're getting money two ways. You're
Okay.
actually killing two birds with one stone. With one business, you have two streams of income. So that's what people need to get in the mindset of, having two streams of income. So even if they don't like to, recruit, and they only want to sell products, that's the only way you're gonna get your money. So if you ain't selling products, you're not getting money.
Right.
But if you're recruiting people and selling products, you're getting money two ways. And then if you have your 9 to 5 job, you're getting the money three ways. So you have three sources of income. And then if you do these two better than you do this one, you can get rid of this one and put in another one, like forex trading,
Right.
stocks, something else that you don't have to report 9 to 5 to a manager.
Okay. How has COVID-19 changed the business landscape? I mean, dealing from, because I know you deal with international clients. How has COVID-19 affected a lot of the business owners you see now?
Well, I think that it has made business owners think in a more innovative way.
Okay.
COVID-19 put in your mind, okay, if I'm going to do business, I need to find a way. So you have to be innovative in a pandemic to be able to find a way. And I really enjoyed the Mary Kay business. What they did is they started making sanitizers so they could be an essential business. Now, some people might say, oh, yeah, that's bogus. Why would they do that? They are a cosmetic company. Why wouldn't they make sanitizer? So are you mad because you didn't do something like that? Restaurants decided to do carry out and delivery so that they can still keep their restaurant open and still make money. There is nothing wrong with having an innovative idea to keep your business afloat, but we have to be in that innovative mindset. We got to stop thinking, okay, well, I can't do nothing right now.
Right.
Everything is locked down. You need to find something to do, because if you want to make some money, you got to find something to do.
It's funny you mention that, because a friend of mine, she launched Black Mama Vodka and Tea and Cafe, and when COVID-19 came, she did exactly that. She launched into hand sanitizers, and I thought it was a brilliant move, because again, she wasn't we went into this area where you're not going to be opening up franchises, cafes, because nobody's coming. But what she did do was, now she's selling her hand sanitizer, manufacturing hand sanitizer with her brand on there, and sending out her vodka and teas. And so she sort of transcended from a typical brick and mortar sort of strategy to now, since COVID-19 is here, I have to figure out a way to continue to generate money. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that, because now in COVID-19, from a lot of businesses, and this is where I say, if you don't find a way to be innovative and come out of this, only the strong survive. You won't be around. I like your idea of the three incomes. And let me confess, when we talked about multi-level network marketing, and I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but because I'm known as a guru around all that. But even in my mind, as you were saying this, I never really looked at multi-level marketing as a two-way stream of income. I only looked at it as, I got to go out and recruit people. And even though I was like, well, maybe I could just sell the products, I never looked at it as two streams of income. I always looked at it as one thing that I had to focus on. It never dawned on me to keep those separate and treat those like two separate line items of revenue coming in. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make, because they get disinfatuated with just thinking, oh, I can only do one thing, and not looking at it as, no, this is two other ways to meet my third stream of revenue method that you talked about. As we look at these things, the mentality, again, because I like the fact that you talk about from employee to CEO, give me characteristics that a person must have if they want to make that transition.
So this person has to be focused. Okay. They have to have a laser focus. Okay, I'm going to be an expert in a specific area. And that's how you make money, because you find your niche. I'm going to make money in a specific area. This is the area I'm going to do it. And people don't realize it's stuff they're doing every single day, and they're not getting paid to do it. They do referrals for good restaurants. Do the restaurant pay you to do that? No. You making YouTube videos? Are they paying you to do that? No. But you have this skill set, and you have never looked into being an expert at this skill set so you can be able to make money. And this is what goes on in the African American community. because they're good at a lot of things and then they don't know exactly what to do with it. So what Caucasian Americans do is they become an expert at it, and then they start making money about, and they don't have to go necessarily to college. You can go on YouTube and find some videos about making YouTube videos. I mean, it's not hard.
And a lot of people sleep on social media. There are people making boatloads of money. I had interns in my office or people that work for me, young Generation X, and they were telling me how, yeah, we get paid for the subscribers and people that watch. And the young lady that worked for me, I love her to death, little sister, she would make, now it's just mind-boggling to me that literally people would watch her apply makeup. 11,000 subscribers watching her put on makeup, like and she would get paid for that stuff. And to me, it was like, really, people are doing that now? And how many people have that kind of skill set, but are leaving money on the table and not being innovative to go do it? So being focused is one. Give me another one.
And then you have to go ahead and you have to invest.
Okay.
You have to invest. So, I mean, there are free videos, but I mean, I would suggest investing in, okay, if you are going to go ahead and make YouTube videos, you should invest in the sort of programs you need to make very good videos.
Right.
I mean, as far as aesthetically, as far as pleasing to the eye, because you want your stuff to look professional. So if you want your stuff to look professional, you're gonna have to pay some professional prices.
Now we can sit here and have a whole discussion on we can have an entire series on people not investing, whether it's money, whether it's investing in themselves. Because I think a lot of people don't look at it as investing in themselves. And then when they don't succeed because they've thrown up, just give me the YouTube example, they've thrown up some janky because they didn't invest in either somebody who could produce the video or they didn't invest in learning how to do it themselves and push out quality. And a lot of times they don't invest in other Black-owned businesses who can help you get there. What is it about? And that's it's a play on words. You and I say invest, right? Because in our world, that's what it is. I'm investing in this to make myself successful. Other people look at it as I'm giving money to this person or I'm spending money. Like some people would look at you and say, why am I spending money on her service? They won't look at it as investing in. What's the difference?
Okay, so you go to a restaurant to eat. You pay for your food. You get the good feeling of the food being in your mouth, being full on your stomach. Okay? So you wouldn't think about it, but that is an investment. You gave them money so you can have a good feeling in your mouth, and on your taste buds, and in your stomach. Mind you, this moment only lasts for a couple hours. When we say an investment, though, we're talking about long term. We're talking about you can use it over and over again. You can't use that same meal over and over again unless you buy it over and over again.
Right.
But when we're talking about investment, this is talking about training, software you can use over and over again so you can make money. Right. So it's worth you spending some money if you're going to make money over and over and over again. That is an investment.
Okay. So focus, investing, what else you got?
So once you get invested and you focus, you need to work with some people. So you were talking about earlier, how people don't support African Americans, don't support other African Americans. You need to do some collaborations because you're not always going to have the funds to be able to work with people. So you need to start making some deals, in-kind deals, barter deals, whatever you can make, so you can build up your collaborations so you can be more of like a one-stop shop. Because if you don't have what maybe a potential client might need, somebody who will have that. And then if you refer them to whatever business you're collaborating with, they will refer people to you. And that's about building that community
Right.
and keeping the money and the dollars circulating in the community. That's why we got to support each other. We have to collaborate with each other so we can be able to get this money, because that's the only way. We cannot be having this crab mentality. Yes, I said it. Anytime somebody go up, you want to pull them down because you mad you ain't doing that. You know, we got to stop that.
Let me
We
ask,
got to work together.
where do you think that comes from? I mean, because I've always said in business, and I'm working in politics, working with a lot of nationalities. What I've noticed is that, and I'm gonna say it this way, because in politics it's prevalent. You can have two white men arguing like cats and dogs, but when the opportunity comes that benefits both of them, they put it to the side like that. Like if and you swear up and down like they hate each other. But when it came to, hey, this is beneficial for me, I'll put aside, the crap that I got going on with him if it's gonna empower us both. Where do you think we missed that, or why are we not able to do that yet? I mean, I think we're doing it, but we haven't maximized it yet. What do you think? Why is that?
You know, I think that we are, well, I'll say people are stuck in the mindset of being, inferior to somebody. And they don't like that, because, we were slaves before, and, we were inferior to the slave owner type thing. So we have that mindset that we don't want to feel like we're below somebody,
Okay.
because if we support somebody, that means we below them. But we at the same, if you support me, we at the same level, because you're supporting me. So I thank you for your support, because we at the same level. That's how you collaborate. And we just got to look at it like that. This is not no inferiority type thing. This is, we are on the same level collaborating.
Okay. When you when you talk about, so you focus, um, invest, collaborate, which I think is huge, because I think a lot of people underestimate those three things, right? Because a lot of those require an emotional commitment, and I would even say it requires an emotional, a spiritual commitment, a physical commitment. But I want to talk about in those three things, and then I'll ask you some more. But the commitment as far as spiritually, because I think a lot of people, as you said before, they see this stuff. I want to do this. I want to be a business owner. But being a business owner, it's a price you got to pay. I mean, if your spirit not strong in dealing with the ups and downs, and your faith don't keep you focused, you can miss a lot of stuff. I mean, how has, because you've done this, you went from being an employee to a CEO, right? So what I love about it is you're not talking about something you haven't done. You know what I mean? You've done it. Spiritually, what helps you spiritually? Because I think we don't pay enough attention to that. Because I know it was some dark days. You didn't just wake up and be the CEO one day. It was some dark days. From a spiritual perspective, what helped you, and what can help other people stay the course?
So we have to have a prosperity mindset.
Okay.
And people don't know, that is very spiritual. A prosperity mindset is spiritual, because in heaven it's golden streets and pearly gates. Come on now, mansions too. So we have to get our prosperity mindset, because that's a mindset that is like God, expanded. And I talk to people all the time about goal setting. And they think like, okay, I'm gonna set a goal. No, you're going to set a big goal, because the bigger the goal, even if you get halfway to the goal, you still winning. But we gotta open up your mind so you can think about big stuff. You need to be envisioning big things, $1,000,000 goals. I had $1,000,000 goal for my first year. People like, that's crazy. No. And if I got halfway to that, I'm still winning. A fourth of the way to that, I'm still winning. So we just have to expand our minds so we can stop thinking about, okay, living paycheck to paycheck. because that's where you start as an employee, living paycheck to paycheck. So you can't see past when you get paid again, but you need to see past that. And you need to put pictures in your mind about where you want to be, what you want to have, so you can be focused, so you can invest, and so you can collaborate with other people, so you can get to where you want to go.
So focus, invest, collaborate. What else you got?
So when you collaborate, obviously you're building up, referrals and things of that nature. But another good thing about collaboration is you're taking some of the work off of yourself. Because as a business owner, you do everything yourself. And then when you're building these relationships with other people, you're able to take some of those things off your plate. Like, you won't have to make your own YouTube videos.
Right.
So you'll be able to pay somebody to do that, because somebody knows somebody, and then, they might give you a discount, they might not, but because they know you, they gonna do it for you, and you'll be able to pay them, when you can or whatever. But it's building those relationships so you can be able to get some of the workload off yourself. Because I wrote an article on LinkedIn about the power of duplication, and people don't realize that you need to be able to have a process to be able to share with somebody so they can do it, so you don't have to do everything. Because if you do everything, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You're not making money because you're not saving time, because you're using all your time trying to make money. So that is not the point of being a business owner. A business owner is supposed to make money whether they're there or whether they're not there. And that is some of the skills that I teach you as a business owner, is you use your collaborations so you can be able to take things off your plate, delegation, so you can be able to make money when you're not actually doing your business things.
I love the fact that you said that, and it's almost a linear process, from being focused to investing to building collaboration, and then going deeper into that. The article you wrote, and I'm gonna have to read it. The power of duplication. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that, and I hear it from a lot of people. I'm doing everything. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, and you get burned out quick because, number one, if you were focused and you invested and then started to build those collaborations, it would prevent you from getting to that point. Because as the CEO, and again, talking about a poverty mindset, the CEO is not the person that's doing everything. So if you really want to be a CEO, you have to adhere to these tenets that you laid out. I love that, the power of duplication. Go talk. I never heard it put like that, but go give me a little bit more, because that's I like that.
Okay, so basically I talk about focusing on your processes. So as a business owner, you have to have a process for everything, and you have to have it written down. And if you don't have it written down, how are you going to train somebody else to do it? Okay.
Right.
So what we do is we focus on, okay, we writing down this business process. Okay, so how can we tweak it, put some steps together to make it easier for another person to do it, so you don't have to do it yourself.
Right.
And then we look into how we can automate the process. If we have to go ahead and use a computer to do that, with some software, hardware, machine, whatever, we try to automate the process with what steps we already have left.
Right.
And then whatever steps after the automation goes, it's always going to be, obviously, you're going to need a human factor in there. So once you automate the process, you are able to pass it on, delegate it to somebody else, and then they won't think that, oh, this is too much work, I can't do this, because they have, obviously, it's been automated and it's written down in the simplest form. Okay. And then I teach them, and the power of duplication is, if you have a great process in your business, you need to sell that process. Meaning, if you found out a great way to organize your store and make the aisles look great and customers buy just because of the way you have it set up, why not make money off of that? You can make money off of anything, and people don't think about that. If you have a process that works great, make money off of it. Don't think of it as like, oh, they stealing my stuff, why would I give them my secret? Right. No, that's how you make money. You give people your secret for some money. Right. That's how you make money.
That comes back to, I think, that inferiority attitude. And it's funny you say that because I was talking with my parents yesterday about some potential business deals and stuff. And my mom said, Jason, be careful. They might steal your idea. And I remember having that kind of, I don't want to give people too much because I've been burned and all that. But then focusing on the prosperity mindset, what I realized is that if God brought you to something, he'll bring you through it. And the moment you start worrying about all those things that take away from you, you give more power and energy to that. And so when you talk about that power of duplication, keeping yourself from being burned out, again, I think it's highly underrated that a lot of people don't understand. I've bumped into and coached a lot of CEOs, and like that was one of the things that I did. I would come in as your number two person because I'm a good number one, right? But I'm a damn good number two. You know what I mean? So selling that process, like I know the process, and I would always tell the CEOs, you're doing too much. You don't want to give up anything, and that's making you struggle because you're not doing it effectively, you're not doing it efficiently, you're costing money, and people pissed off. So you're not winning because you have that mindset where, it has to be me. That's a detrimental mistake for a lot of people. Um, Keep going. What else?
I mean, if you're worried about someone stealing your idea, I would advise you to obviously copyright it. I
Okay.
mean, copyright your intellectual property, copyright it. If you're so worried about somebody stealing your idea, just copyright it.
Right.
But like you said, we have to get all of those negative thoughts out, okay? Now, it's okay to, be realistic and think about risk management, but we shouldn't have too many negative thoughts floating around. We should have more positive thoughts than negative thoughts, okay? So, I mean, you just have to make sure you're open to, if you have a feeling that's working with somebody is not a good idea, don't go against that to make some money.
Okay.
Listen to that feeling and don't work with them because there's a reason why you have that feeling. It's not worth the money, obviously.
Let me
So just don't override that.
in the business, and I was always taught that the success of a business is if one day I'm gone and it still survives. That, and so for me, and I think that has to do with your process and your automation. And I hear people, they go work for these organizations and everything is just janky. Does the attitude and culture of the business follow? Is that a trickle down? Does it come from the CEO? I mean, is it fair to say if your business is crap, it might be a connection?
It is. Company culture goes all the way down to the employees from the CEO. It does. I mean, and you have to be mindful, like when you're collaborating with people and when you're hiring people, that they know what your values are, what your morals are, what you stand for, your vision and mission. Those things need to be clearly stated, and that's what I work with my business owners. Make sure you have all of those things clearly stated so that anybody you work with or any employee knows. But I don't stand for that. I don't do that. If you're not adhering to that, you can walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need that negativity in your business. You need positive feedback, positive. And I mean, it's okay to, do some constructive criticism because you should listen to your employees because they're doing the work so
Right.
they know what works best and what doesn't work best. But it should be an effort to solve the problem, not just complain about it. You don't need complainers around you. They're bad for business, I'm telling you.
Do you advise, or what's your take on, because I think you touched on a little bit, cross training, meaning having more than one person being able to do a certain job. I think a lot of people, particularly small business owners, there's some debate on that. Do you recommend, or do you guys discuss that in your classes and courses? Should a person have a team where if somebody's gone, then other people can pick up the slack? What's your take on that?
I totally agree with doing that. I mean, even with going ahead and videotaping yourself doing it for others to see it, I mean, that is a way of leveraging yourself and you not having to be there. You
Okay.
know, if you write down the process, that's a way of leveraging yourself so you don't have to be there. Anything to go ahead and leverage yourself so you don't have to be there is good as a business owner.
Right. What things have you seen? Because we talked about things that the quality and things that people should do. Um, and I hate to talk about, I'm not that I hate to talk about it, but I think it's realistic. What are things where people make grave mistakes? I mean, you gave me, focus, invest, build the collaborations. From your experience and when you're teaching people, what mistakes should people avoid? I mean, that you see that are prevalent.
Okay, well, I can go into my other article that I wrote on LinkedIn, and we're talking about business resilience in the pandemic time. And
Okay.
I think the biggest mistake is people not willing to change. Now, you might have a business idea and you think it's a great idea, and a lot of people don't think it's a great idea. But if you tweaked it just a little, you know, it'll be like everybody will like it. But you
Okay.
so set on, I'm gonna do this way, and I want to do it this way, you're not gonna make no money. So
Okay.
you need to be open to being able to pivot so you can be able to be successful, because that's what all big businesses do. They are able to pivot a little. They find out, that's why they do so many surveys. They see what
Right.
you like, what you don't like, so they can tweak it a little, and then it just shoots off. I mean, it's just like that in business.
That's I can see a lot of people. It's hard to get to that, and particularly if you're a small business owner, this your baby, and in your mind, this the way it's gonna be, but not willing to change or adapt. Um, that yeah, I can see why that's probably the biggest mistake that people make. This inability to change or see that something is not going right or it's not going well with their processes, but not make any changements or adjustments to it.
I know, and that's about mobilizing your business,
Okay.
okay? Because in my article, The Business Resilience in a Pandemic Time, we talk about mobilizing your business. If you have a brick and mortar and you think that you can only do business at a physical location, you need to find a way that you can do it outside of that location as well. Because we don't know what could come up. I mean, with this second surge, whatever, of the COVID-19 coming, and they locking down Florida already again, and
Right.
California, you need to be thinking about that. I mean, I was looking at, you know, the hair stores. I mean, the fact that, okay, they have people that they can bring out their stuff or whatever, and they only let a certain amount of people in, you know, whatever. But you need to be thinking about, okay, how can I put this on the web?
Right.
How can I sell on the web? How can I sell some of my processes on the web? So then when you can't have your brick and mortar open, you still have other streams of income through the web. A website is a must for a business. And if you can't sell on your website like you do through your brick and mortar, you losing. That's why so many brick and mortar businesses are closing, because they haven't fully utilized being able to sell online. I mean, and places like Walmart is able to still stay open,
Yeah.
but they still have an online store.
Right.
And that's why they're able to adapt and change. But if you don't have an online store, if you are not able to give products or services online, you are doing yourself a disservice. You're not mobilizing your business, and you're not going to be resilient as a business in any time, not just the pandemic time of COVID-19, in any time.
Okay. I love when you're talking about that, and that is the innovation and the change we talk about now because so many things are changing now. Like we are literally living in a different era, with the introduction of COVID-19 and this second wave coming up. And again, it reminds me that if you don't adapt, if you're not innovative, you'll get left behind. I mean, what is your take on, because I get a lot of people when we talk about, I'll get people to ask me, they want to start these businesses, they want to do all this stuff. And I'll ask them, what's your social media presence like? What do you post about? And how big is your social media presence branding? Because I see business owners, but they're not talking about their business on social media. They talking about everything else but the business, and I don't necessarily use social media for fun. I use it as business and when I have something to say. It's a branding thing for me. Um, do you think enough people have learned to use social media the effective way, or are we still using it just for fun?
I think, like you said, enough people aren't using social media for as far as getting business for themselves, and they don't know how much money can be made on social media. I mean, it's a lot of people that are making money off of social media, and you sitting there making comments and doing whatever you want to do on social media because you want to have fun and you bored type thing. And I mean, if you have your own business, you need to think about, like you said, your branding. That's your image that you are portraying to people on social media or wherever. You have to be very mindful of that. I mean, if you need to get a separate page, do whatever you got to do, and then have, like, personal. I mean, you need to do what you got to do. I mean, I have a personal page and then I have a business page. I'm on, and you need to be at least on 3 social media networks. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube. You
Okay.
could be on Pinterest, you can be on Instagram, you can be on TikTok, but you need to have at least 3 so people can see your brand, so they can get to know who you are, because that's how you build trust. You want clients to trust you. You want potential clients to come to you. If you have an ever presence on social media, they'll see, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. Okay, I like that, I like that. Maybe I give her a try. Maybe I give him a try.
Okay. You,
That's
you,
what it's about.
one of the things we talked about, and I did one of my episodes, was LinkedIn. And a lot of people that you and I know, they're on Facebook, right? They might be on Twitter, but they totally ignore LinkedIn. Like, it is, and LinkedIn for me, and I've always said this is where most of the time, most of the articles I post come from LinkedIn. The stuff, because the intellectual capital is way high. It's a lot more serious people. Um, as a business owner, how important is LinkedIn? I mean, because you're on there, how important is it, do you think?
I think it depends on what kind of business you have. So I tell my clients, like, if you like into music and maybe like hair type stuff, makeup, I would steer towards Facebook,
Facebook.
maybe not LinkedIn. But if
Right.
you have like a serious business, like you do some consulting, you do marketing, you do advertising, things of that nature, I would go towards LinkedIn. LinkedIn, there's a lot of money to be made, but you have to be very strategic. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to even hire a LinkedIn coach so I could be, build up my profile and build up my followers so I can be able to have customers come to me. Because, I mean, it's not something you could just go on and think you're just going to
That's
get a whole bunch of people by yourself.
right.
It's not like that.
That's right. It is very, and that's the investing part. And I've had to invest because I'm on all of them. And even then, I'm still not maximizing my LinkedIn stuff. Like, it's very strategic. And so again, I love the fact that you're not you're talking about stuff you've done. You talking about things that you went through. You're not just on here saying y'all should do this. No, I've done this. Um, I love the focus, the investment, the collaboration. The biggest things that have prevented people from being successful is not being flexible or the lack of change, particularly going to COVID-19. You mentioned something that you said, write it down. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people do not write down the game plan. They don't write the vision down. And when a person comes to you, in addition to finding out their skill set, what they make, do you have them write down the process or the vision? I mean, do you have them write that down?
I do have them write down the vision.
Okay.
I have them write down the vision first so they can get a visualization of where they want to go, what they want to do for this business. I mean, do they want it to help the community, or do they just want to make money? I mean, so they can get a full view of what they're trying to do, because that vision is going to go ahead and frame everything else.
Okay.
And obviously that's the beginning of a business plan, so you could just go from there. I mean, when people invest in your company, they look and see if you have structure.
Okay.
They look and see if you have a clear picture of where you're going to be. And I help people create that clear picture, and it's definite steps in there, so that when people decide to invest with you and your company, even though it's not all the way up to par, you know, it's not fully functional, it's a startup. You know, with all startups, you know, you don't start with everything, you know, in place. Investors can invest with you because they see that you got all your ducks in a row as far as your plan.
Right.
You don't have to have everything executed, but if you have a clear, concise plan, people will invest in you because you know what you want and you know how you want it done.
You know, I can't stress that enough, because a lot of people, they want to do these pitches and they talk about stuff. And as a person that seeks to sometimes invest in businesses, you're right. We shy away from, well, what's the process? What's the vision? And if I don't see your vision or your mission, I can't connect with you, because I don't, if it's not structured, if I can't see it, that's one thing. If I don't see how you're going to achieve it, that's another thing. You know, in addition to, do you have the fortitude to actually get there? And do you have the fortitude to be able to be flexible and change? Because one of the things I try to tell people now is, when you get into the area where people are investing in your company, or you looking for people to invest, don't get it twisted. Venture capital people will fire you from your company if you are not. Don't get it twisted. This is about money, and if you're not the best person in your business to make money, they will get rid of you and hire somebody else to run your company. And so I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of people don't have the mindset that I need to be clear on my vision, my mission, because that's going to, one, keep me from being distracted or getting pulled in all other places. And I've seen business people do that. They come in with a vision and mission, and next thing you know, they done branched off into doing something that ain't got nothing to do with what the original intent was. So I'm glad people can come to you. Where can people reach you? Because I want to make sure we get that in.
Okay. Well, I do have my own website. It's jl-morgan-consulting-llc.business.site.
Okay.
That's my website. I am on Facebook. I have a JL Morgan Consulting LLC page on Facebook also. You can reach me there. I'm on YouTube. I have my own channel, JL Morgan Consulting LLC. I'm on LinkedIn as Jene Morgan. If you look up my name, my business will come up under there as well. And I'm on Twitter at JeneLiddell. So you can find me on there. I make some posts on there as well.
Let me ask you this, because I want people to get, and I always ask people this. So I'm a new person. I see this video. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give her a try. What's the process? Like, do I call you, and then what happens next?
So we would set up a mini session, and we talk about what you're actually looking for.
Okay.
And then I tell you what I offer. Okay. And then you see if that will adhere to your budget, because you're going to have to invest.
Right.
So you have to think about it that way. I mean, I also am able to refer, because some people don't have the money to invest. I'm able to refer, but you have to think about it this way. When you get free services, you get free services.
Right.
I don't know if you understand. You get free services. I mean, right now I'm working with clients. They can text me, email me, call me at any time, And if I'm not asleep, I answer. You don't get that kind of service with somebody you doing free service. It's on they 9 to 5 shift. They don't answer the phone probably, you know. I mean, come on now. Just think about that. You gotta think about that.
You know, that's we gotta level up. You know, you're absolutely right. You get what you pay for in this day and age. Because many of us, we've made the sacrifice to acquire this knowledge, to do it. You know, so we didn't get here for free. You know, we had to pay to get the, and we still have to pay to better ourselves and continue to provide you with the best level of service. I think a lot of people see you or me and think, oh, they just making money. No, a lot of this money, the time goes into continuing to educate yourself, continuing to make sure you offer the best product. Because there's all kinds of things you got to continue to be aware of and know, and build those collaborations so that your business can be enhanced. And yeah, that costs money. So no, I look, I get it. This is Let's Talk Solution series. And so that means we have a real candid conversation about the value that people bring. And so no, I think you should have that. They come in, they call you, you go through that. What's the one thing that you want people to know? I mean, we are in the middle of 2020, right? And, you know, I don't know if many of us have caught on. I don't know where we're going to go, but it's a second wave coming up and we're going into 2021. If I'm a business owner, what should I be thinking right now? Where should my mindset be at right now?
If you're already a business owner, mobilize your business.
Okay.
That means that you can do business anywhere.
Yeah. And if I'm a starting business, if I want to start.
If you want to start,
yep.
This is the prime time to start a business. If you want to start a side hustle and you don't want to invest that much money, this is the prime time. This is the time when you're not working, when you ain't got nothing else to do. This is the time. You getting all that unemployment money. People getting almost $4,000 a month in unemployment. Y'all buying TVs.
Really?
Y'all need to get y'all minds together. I was watching Self-Made with Madam C.J. Walker. She did that. Talk about female African-American entrepreneurs. I was watching The Banker. I was watching The Black Godfather, the Clarence Avant story. Get inspired to do something, please.
All great movies, though. All great. On The Banker, I haven't watched yet because I think you got to have like Apple TV or something. So
Apple.
I got to invest in Apple, right? Got to invest in Apple. So, but I heard they were all great movies. We saw the other two, but I love that. Get inspired because now is the right time to do all these things. Yes. And I want to thank you because I've learned some things, you know, things where maybe I didn't think through, even for myself. And so I think people, one of the reasons why I do these is because it's not just for what I'm bringing to other people, but I have a firm belief to get around people who have the expertise and to try to learn. I mean, this is what this stuff is about. And so I'm glad you gave me the chance. I'm glad you came on board to do this, to do the episode. We're going to air it, post it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. You'll have the link so that everybody can see this stuff because I think it's a valuable show. One thing you want to leave everybody with before we sign off?
Okay, so I wanted to say that things like this happen in life.
Hey, Jene, you on mute.
Making this call. Okay. So we find out what else we need to do. Okay. So this is like this pandemic time came to shake us up. Okay, this 9 to 5 is not working. What else should we do? We shouldn't just go back to normal. This is not meant to go back to normal. So if you're planning on doing that, going back to working your 9 to 5 job, nothing else is going to change. It's going to remain the same. That's insanity. If you want to change, you have to change. And this is a time to change. So take it as a time to change because it shook up your regular. So take it as a time to change. That's what I want to leave y'all with.
Well, thank you, sis. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure we post this. I'm sure we're gonna be doing another episode down the line to follow back up, because I know there are great things coming for you, and we're gonna be following you consistently. So thank you, appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jeff. Jason, not Jeff, Jason.